Zanadam here from 2620 is YouTube. Today we will continue our discussion on Java data types, specifically floating point data types. But first, if you like my video, please comment and share, and don't forget to subscribe my channel in Java. The others are floating point data types in Java, and there are two types of floating point data types, the float and double. And as we have discussed, they are used in working with numbers which require fractional precisions, and floating float data type is 32 bits wide, and it can handle from minus 1.4 times 10 to the power of minus 45 to 3.4 times 10 to the power of 38. And the double data type is 64 bits wide, and it handles pretty large numbers, and the difference between the two is the precision after the decimal point is extremely precise with double data type, and these are very important data types in precision number handling. Now let's go to our IDE and see how we use the floating data types. We will use our previous project, our floating point data types. So there are numerical data types with fractions or decimal points. So the two floating point data types that we have discussed are the float data type. So we define it by typing float, and we will give it a name, right? Float. So as we have discussed previously, we can initialize it here or on a new line. So we call it 7.9 and semicolon. So here you see a red line indicating that our definition is has got error, and this is because the the compiler takes number with decimal points as double by default. So we have to indicate that this is a float value by adding the letter F at the end of the number. So we will this will remove the error. So this will explicitly indicate that this is a float one. So we will also see the other data type, which is 64 bits wide. As we have discussed, float data type is 32 bits wide. So the double data type, we define it by the type double, and we can initialize it to any fractional number. So in this case it is 13.1. So as I have said, when we define double with a decimal point number, the compiler will not complain because the decimal point numbers defaults to double data type. So as we have seen for integral data type, let's see the minimum and maximum value of double data type. So here we have got, let's comment out this one so that our compilation will be faster. So we will see the minimum and maximum value of the double. You can do that for the float too. So you can do it in your time and see the minimum and maximum value of this one. So we have seen that the minimum is 4.9 times 10 to the power of minus 324, and the maximum is 1.7 something and times 10 to the power of 308. So this is pretty big number. So this tells us the double data type is a pretty big number for precision number manipulation. Next we will see the character data type and how to define it, how to manipulate it, and see you then in the next video.